All right. Well, here's a few news articles I thought were interesting. Vladimir Putin said there was going to be threats like had never been seen in history, and this is widely considered to be a threat to use nuclear weapons. Now I finally understand some question. How do I pre-record from Google Slides? Well, you have to use some kind of recording software. You can do it on Zoom. You can do it on Twitch. You can do it on QuickTime. Let's talk about it after the lecture with the other students. Depending on what system you have, there's lots of ways to record something. So anyway, it'll be even crazier if Vladimir Putin starts using nukes, which is, of course, why Biden has said he is not going to attack Russia directly. All right. And this was pretty interesting. The Twitter safety account today started tweeting in Ukrainian, telling users how to delete accounts, disable location services, set up two-factor authentication, and so on. So that's kind of nice of them. Ukrainian instructions. Do I think Russia will launch cyber attacks on Ukraine or us again? Yes, I think they're already doing both of those things. We got a warning last week to expect them to attack American services, and I imagine that's already underway, and they're absolutely attacking Ukrainian services. They've already been detecting wipers to wipe out the machines there and so on. It is standard playbook these days. When you attack with an army, you also attack with a cyber army. And in fact, Ukraine has asked the hacker community to please sign up and help them attack Russia back. Will there be enough materials for dirty bombs in Chernobyl? Well, what an awful idea. God only knows. There's certainly a lot of radioactive material there, and if you just sprayed it around, you could poison some land and stuff. I don't really know if anybody wants that. The only thing that seemed likely that I saw some concerns about is that they might accidentally shell some of the radioactive buildings and break the containment. But apparently the Russians have already taken over Chernobyl, so that's either happened or it's not by now. I guess the risk is now done. Anyways, here's Garry Kasparov, the chess champion who has been always a hawk against Russia. And, here's what he says. We have to support Ukraine militarily, everything but boots on the ground, freeze Putin's war machine, and so on. Recall all ambassadors. He had a lot of strong ideas here. It'd be nice if any of it would happen. So far, there's been people... Everybody says that the sanctions will do absolutely nothing. Putin built up a $600 million reserve, and so as far as most people think the sanctions are going to do nothing. We will see. As far as I know, there's no way to find out information about the career fair. I don't think anything's written down anywhere. You can try emailing Steve Nelson. Yeah, that's Mobo's got it. Steve might have something. Yeah. All right. So this I thought was very interesting. November 2021, I kind of think maybe she means 2020 because she talks about a lot more than just a couple months of training, but she decided to become a blockchain security expert. And she explains how she did it and had a whole lot of learning resources I did not know about. So it's very interesting. She didn't know much about this stuff at all, and she went and took a short bunch of training courses and joined a Black Hill information security community and got a job in blockchain security, which is an exploding field. So I'm very interested in Web3 too and blockchain security. There's a lot of craziness going on, but there's an awful lot of action and definitely a lot of job opportunities. Also a whole lot of scams and problems to dodge, but it's not any different than hacking when I got involved in that. It looks like a lot of opportunities. So this was pretty funny. This could easily happen to me. One of my corporate clients does have these fake phishing emails to see if you're dumb enough to click on them. And I wanted to report it when I first got it. Then I figured out what it was. Then I actually clicked on one and got a nasty gram. So this guy reported it as to phishing in Outlook. And that sends it to Microsoft. And the Microsoft reporting system clicks the link, and now he's dinged for having clicked the link. So that's pretty rude. Now the company thinks he clicked the link, and he's on the hook for mandatory phishing training. So I hadn't heard that particular failure scenario of these phishing training emails, but that's certainly something that could happen. And this confirms something I gathered from a much less complete earlier report. The organization into Trump's lying about the value of his properties egregiously to defraud banks and tax payments has been essentially abandoned. The original district attorney that was prosecuting it retired, and the replacement just doesn't care at all and doesn't even bother to answer emails or show up for the meetings until the main prosecutors have quit, saying it's clear that nothing's going to... That's what I thought. It does sound from this article like it's not even that he's been bribed by Trump or anything. He's just completely lazy and incompetent and just can't be bothered. He had some other priority that made no sense, and he's wasting all his time on that. So anyway, it's not good for those of us who would like to think that we live in a nation of law and order. But it appears to be pretty corrupt, where the rich and powerful are not really subject to the law very much.